Woof woof! Hey guys, it's me Marcus, aka the Mad Dog. It's the beginning of the month, and you know that can mean only one thing. Yes, this is the first episode in 2021 of Whale Watch. In case you're new here, this is a video that we do once a month where I take a recording of the screen and we take a look at some of the books that look like they're going out of print, may have gone out of print and you've got a last chance to buy them, or maybe just a good deal that you haven't yet seen. I have to say this at the beginning of every video, else somebody will point out every single tiny mistake that I make, but I am not a professional, I don't have any kind of insider knowledge, I am just one fan of this community, of this hobby that's trying to help out another. Last month's Whale Watch got me £1.50, so I am not doing this for the money, I am just trying to help some people hopefully save some money on books and avoid paying stupid amounts for a book that they might have wanted. But I'd recommend watching the previous episodes because I'm not just always going to put the book on the next month if it is that there's only a slight change to it. If there's a major change and it was featured last month, then yeah, it'll feature here. But if not, I'm just going to be focusing on books that have got me attention this month. Jumping in straight away, we're going to be looking at a book that I've had a few people ask me about, and yet again I still can't spell, but it's the Black Hammer Library Edition Volume 2, which, considering they only came out in December, it looks like it's already out of print. Now, we've normally got quite a lot of signs that we go off of. It looks like nobody's selling it. The only place that's selling it's new Amazon US. And it looks like it hasn't been in stock for about 2 or so weeks. Now, these editions are beautiful. I saw that my friend Comic Bound did a video about Black Hammer, so make sure you check that out if you haven't done so already. But let's be honest, if you're here, you've got good taste, so of course you've probably already seen it. I can't see it on here either, unfortunately. Now, let's have a look at something like Read Comics. Now, unfortunately, Read Comics doesn't have it either, but for me, if you were to ask me should you pay over cover price for this, I don't think that you should, because Black Hammer is pretty much hitting its peak of its popularity. Now, if you look, there's already multiple plans for other volumes of Black Hammer to come out in a library edition, and Jeff Lemire is a name that seems to be getting more and more traction at the minute. So Luke, in February you've got The World of Black Hammer Volume 2. Now, for me, if they've got Volume 1 in stock, and they've got the other volumes as well, I think it's going to be the case that the one that came out in December maybe just had a few printing issues. So if you were thinking that you missed out on Black Hammer Library Edition Volume 2, you're in the same boat as me because I didn't manage to get it either. But I'm going to wait, I'm going to hold, because I think that this could come back in stock, and it's more than likely going to, because I believe that we've already got a Volume 3 that's been teased at least. So why would it be the case that you'd allow Volume 1 to be in stock, you'd have a Volume 3 coming out, but make it so that nobody really had an active chance to get Volume 2? The next one that I want to talk about, and I know obviously I said that I'm not just going to try and repeat what I've said before, but this is actually a development. East of West, as we know, kind of went out of print pretty quickly, and it looked like it wasn't going to be printed again, but they have announced, and it was also confirmed by Mr. Omar from Near Mint Condition, it's going to be the case that they are going to have one last printing of all 3 volumes. As you can see, I pre-ordered it from Forbidden Planet. I like how this grasses me up, but yeah, I pre-ordered it from Forbidden Planet because it got quite a good price. Amazon is the only place that's got it, and that is one of the telltale signs that it might be the case that it's going out of stock, and also we've had kind of confirmation that it is anyway. But if you wait until, I believe it was March, yeah, 24th of March, they're going to be coming back in stock. I would recommend pre-ordering it like I've done here. Don't want it to be the case where they've said this is the last printing, this is the last printing, and yeah, sometimes that can be a scare tactic. But what if it's not? Like, I know that that's the mindset that they want us to have, but at the end of the day, if you want these books, why wouldn't you get them for a decent price like this? I combine it with a bunch of DM variants that I pre-ordered as well. All of a sudden, I'm a DM variant kind of guy, so if you pre-order it early enough with Forbidden Planet, you hopefully shouldn't have any issues. The next one that I want to talk to you guys about is one that I know that people want as soon as it will actually go out of print, and it's the Baltimore Omnibuses as part of the Magnolia universe. Now, you've got Volume 1 and you've got Volume 2. Now, for me, it does seem to be the case that this is trickling out of stock in places. So yeah, you've got it at Blackwell's and you've got it at Book Depository, but the list of retailers that have it is getting fewer and fewer by the week, it seems. If you know anything about these Magnoliaverse books, you know that these go out of print all of a sudden and then they never come back in print. Look at all the BPRD volumes, look at Abe Sapien, look at Lobster Johnson. They disappear, and once they disappear, they are gone. You don't want it to be the case that you want Baltimore, maybe you're waiting on it. It's only about 20 odd quid. Even if it is only 27% off, you really can't complain at that price. It's been in stock since about October 2019, and this one's new enough had a year. Yeah, there's not too many places places that are selling it either. And when it says usually dispatched within 3 to 4 days, that means that Amazon doesn't have it on hand. Maybe they're sourcing it from one of the other Amazons that does have it. Well, that's not a good sign because Amazon's got everything in stock. Amazon's probably got tomorrow's dinner ready today. So if you want those Baltimore books, why not just pick them up? Another one that I might have a theory on. I'm not sure if I'm going to get demonetized just for saying this. I'm not sure if they're going to take that 2 pence off me that I normally get for a video. But the Southern Bastards Volume 1, which is the book from Image that was written by Jason Aaron. The first book has been in print since about 2015, but if you look, it's got all those telltale signs that it might be going out of print. So Amazon's the only place that's got it in stock, and also there isn't really any main reputable places that, you know, we've got good experience with that have it on hand. I've never used this UK paperback shop, but I wouldn't trust them because of the fact it says paperback shop and they try and sell me a hardcover. Something sounds a bit dodgy about that. But you might be wanting to panic buy on this, and you know, I think it's still a good price even if you did want it. But if you look beneath it, you can see here that there's already a book 2 that's finally being scheduled. Now, I'm not really too sure on that date. That is, Jesus Christ, that's near enough a year away. But for me, if it does get to this stage where it looks like Southern Bastards has actually gone out of print and you can't really get it anywhere, I would wait until that second volume comes out, because of the fact that it's been steadily in print for about 5 years now, 6 years near enough even, and because there's going to be a volume 2, the best way to promote a volume 2 is to have the other volumes in print, so I'd hang tight on that one. Another one that I wanted to talk to you about was Loeb Volume 1 by Reprint. Now, as we know, it had the super beautiful edition. I'm not sure if that's the actual title for it. It really doesn't want to show me this book. Yeah, it had one of these beautiful editions that recently went out of print, and as you can see here, it's going for about 60 odd quid. But I believe that I saw that there was a book 2 that was announced, and if you know, yeah, as you can see here, it's already for pre-order. That's a fucking cool cover as well. I really like that cover. Now, this is going to be the last volume. I think the series is done now. If you know anything about Rick Remender, when Black Science got reprinted, when that 3rd volume came out, they made sure that the volumes 1 and 2 were back in stock, and I believe that it's going to be the same case with Deadly Class, because when that 2nd volume came out, volume 1 came back in print as well. I think that Low is going to be no exception to that rule, so if I was you, do not buy for a stupid price. If you can get it for undercover, then yeah, fair enough, buy volume 1. But for me, just wait until August and see if it comes back in stock. At least then you can make a more informed decision. The next one that I wanted to talk to you about is one that I am also searching for as well, so don't worry, there's some whales that even I can't get, but it is the Tmnt Idw Collection. Now, the ones that I need are volumes 10, 11 and everything after that if it's been released just yet, but as you can see, there isn't too many places that are selling it. Now, it was in one of Mr. Omar's recent streams, but he did contact IDW directly, and they said that they are making a conscious effort to make sure that all of these Tmnt Idw collections are going to come back in print at some point. There's so many volumes of this that they're not going to be stupid and make sure that they lose out on sales by not having all the volumes available. And I believe it was volume 2 that at one point just went out of print. Like, yeah, look, there's sometimes where there's a month, 2 month where it just isn't available, and then it appears again. Like, if there is just one volume that you're missing, don't be stupid and pay over cover price for it. But as well, what you can do, this is a good trick that I've gotten into recently. If you look up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, okay, bad example, that one didn't work. If we go on to Forbidden Planet, now as you can see here, you can put your email address in so that you can be notified when something does come back in stock, so you don't have to do that guessing game, you don't have to keep waiting. And I believe with Forbidden Planet, even if it is the case that it comes back up as a pre-order, similar to what we just saw with East of West, it will still notify you so that you can order it. So I would get into the habit of looking for books that are out of stock, but you might know that they're going to come back in, and just put your email address in, and then one day you're just randomly going to get an email telling you that it's back in stock. If you're not too happy with the price, you can then go and order it in somewhere else, just check if they've got it as well, because it's not going to be the case that it's going to be exclusive to just Forbidden Planet. But for me, this goes similar to the Transformers IDW collection that was coming out, because I remember a few years ago, I think it was in 2018, these were really difficult to get, especially phase 1, and it was volumes 1, 3, 5 and 7. It was all the odd numbered ones, but then all of a sudden they just came back in stock, so we'll use this one as an example. Yeah, again here, there's been about a month or so where it wasn't available. Well, that's a good enough example. Look, there's 3 months there there where it was out of stock, and then bam, all of a sudden it's back in. These are the biggest sellers for IDW. I don't have the data to back that up, I'm just guessing, because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Transformers are two of the biggest intellectual properties that they can have. There might be something else, I'm sorry if I'm slightly wrong on that, but for me, they're going to make sure that these come back in stock, and we've had it confirmed via Mr. Omar. Another one that I wanted to bring up for you guys is the Alien Dark Horse books, because obviously we were talking about this for quite a few weeks, and then I said, oh, I'm only really going to talk about these if there's an update. Well, this is that time. So as you can see here, volume 2 of the original series. I can't remember who sent it in as part of their Mad Dog haul. They had volume 1, so make sure you get volume 2. Now look, yeah, it looks like there's 6 places in, but we don't really know anything about any of these. There's no Speedy Hen, there's no Books Etc, Book Depository, Wordery, Blackwell's or anything like that. Amazon's only got 2 in, but the rights for Aliens left Dark Horse and are now with Marvel, so obviously they're publishing an omnibus, but these books have just got a different production quality to it, so you might prefer these over the omnibus. Now the other one that you do need to be looking out for is the Alien vs Predator, because look, the only place that's got it in stock is Amazon itself, and they're temporarily out of stock, so they haven't actually got it. Yeah, they've got 9 left in stock, but it's at cover price. So that's another one that if you were looking for these books, you don't want it to be with what the Colossal Conan is for me, that you wait and then you can just never find it again. Your opportunity to get them is here now, so if you wanted these, you're not going to get another chance at these editions. Yeah, Marvel might print something else, but you're not going to get a chance at these books. We're going to be moving into the DC books now. Like I said, we try and keep the pace going. I'm not just going to repeat everything that came up last month. Ironically, I can't remember if I mentioned this last month, but the JLA by Grant Morrison omnibus has been the topic of discussion recently, because as you can see, those telltale signs seem to be there. It's only got 11 left in stock on Amazon, the price isn't that far off cover, and as well, there isn't really too many places that are selling it. Yeah, Book Depository is normally quite good, but it doesn't really seem like anywhere else. With this though, it's such a big name, like JLA, massive name, Grant Morrison, massive name, and they've kept titles from Grant Morrison that, you know, maybe lower on the scale. Like, I'm not saying in terms of quality, but what's a more famous team, the Doom Patrol or JLA? But they've kept Doom Patrol in print for about 5 or so years, so for me, I think that that's way too high of a price to just be getting it. As well, it only came out in November, so for me, I wouldn't be paying 100 quid for it. Like, yeah, it's a whammy boy, but for me, I think DC's going to get their act together and bring this back into print to make sure that people can get it, because it's 2 of the biggest selling names, so why wouldn't they? As well, I'm going to plug it whilst I'm here, but I said that I was going to do a new series called Missing the Issue, where I talk about an omnibus and I talk about all the issues that are missing in it, where you can find them, and if they're even worth chasing up anyway. This is probably going to be the first book that I do, so look out for that at some point in February. If you haven't done so already, click subscribe and click the bell notification so that you don't miss it. Actually, whilst I'm here, fuck it, why don't you share this video anywhere that you can? I know it can help quite a few people out. Give this video a thumbs up, check out my links below. If you're planning on buying anything off Amazon, please use one of my Amazon affiliate links. I'm spending near enough about 5 times the amount that I made off YouTube last month on a new microphone, so anything helps at this point and it'll be greatly appreciated. But yeah, hang fire on the JLA by Grant Morrison omnibus, especially because of the fact that Tower of Babel is getting a deluxe edition. This is pretty much filling the majority of the gaps that are in the Grant Morrison omnibus. DC, as much as we disrespect them, as much as we throw shade at them for near enough everything that they do, I think they're going to be smart enough to realise that most people only want this if they can get the Grant Morrison omnibus. So I would hang fire a little bit, wait until about April, and then it probably will come back in stock. That's what my theory is at the moment. Another one that I've been asked about is the Justice League International Omnibus Volume 2. Now, not to worry, I want this one as well, and I still haven't found it. Now, Amazon's got it in for a steady enough price, 31% off, but obviously we like that 40%, we like that Books Etc 50% off, but you know, sometimes we don't always get that. But again, for me, this is one of those books that I feel like they have to understand what they're doing, because as you can see here, Volume 1 is in stock. You know, it made its appearance on an earlier episode of Where I Watch where, you know, I thought it was going out of print. So, you know, not everything that I say is correct. Actually, barely anything that I say is correct. Actually, I think I'm right again, because look, there's not many places that have this one in stock. But for Volume 2, again, it only came out in November, and it seems like titles that came out around that time really struggled getting their way across here. I think this has fallen into that pattern pattern as well. I haven't seen it appear at books etc. all, and I've pretty much been checking every single day. So I wouldn't worry too much. I think at some point more has to come across. And I was looking on here and there's some places that say that they're getting it middle of February. So that could be a good indication that there's some coming across, and it might just be waiting until that day. However, that is still an okay enough price. 31% off is still pretty decent if we're being honest with ourselves. Like if you could get 31% off your mortgage, you'd probably say yes, wouldn't you? So I think it is a decent enough price. I think this depends on if we're going to get a volume 3, because I've heard that there is enough material to do a third volume, and I think that's going to dictate if/when this will come back in print majorly. The next one that I want to talk about in a similar fashion is the Lucifer Omnibus Volume 2. Now again, £100 cover price. I believe it was 125 in America. Please don't correct me if I'm wrong. But this hasn't really dropped significantly in price, and it doesn't seem like that many places have this. If you're looking at the EU websites, you can see right here that there isn't too many places that have it for a great amount. It's only Book Depository that's got it at the moment. But again, for me, I think it'd be a massive oversight of DC to just neglect these books, because volume 1's still pretty much in print. So why would you have it that those books have been in print for years, but the sequel ones you just get rid of straight away? But for me, I think they know that there hasn't really been much of a chance to get these over here. DC's been going through like a management shift. I think In Stock Trades actually had a banner that talked about it, and not a Bruce banner. Great joke. Yeah, it says right here, DC books in transit between distributors are currently unavailable for orders and will be available on the website soon. This is because of that change that happened, you know, pretty much around the time when I started making my channel, where they left Diamond distribution. Now I know for the UK, they are still going through Diamond UK directly. I think they just need time to sort this shit out, and then hopefully things will be back to normal. And I think some of these omnibuses, unfortunately, are getting caught up in that. You can see right here, In Stock Trades does still have it. Maybe at one point I'm going to be tempted to buy it from there and just bundle it in with a few other things, but I wouldn't worry too much about stuff that maybe came out in the last couple of months and it looks like it's already going out of print. On the flip side of that, as we all know, there's been this weird demand for the JSA omnibuses, and then nobody seemed to want it when they actually came back in print for a stealth reprint. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because at the minute, it looks like volume 1 is going on its way out as well. So look, there's only 2 places that are selling it. Sorry, I didn't mean to super zoom in there. This time last week, it was about £63, and then bam, £69. They must have heard that I got paid on Monday, but I don't need this book, so joke's on you. But as well, this was a very limited reprint, so as you can see here, it's a cover price, which is a damn sight better than what it was sometime last year. In November, it was £400, so if you wanted this book, if this was the volume that you needed, I'd be buying it now rather than later. So that's one that I think should be on your radar, and probably put that at the top of the list if it is that you wanted this kind of soon. The next one that I'm going to talk about is the Planetary Omnibus. Now I know that there was a bit of a false alarm with this last year. Hear me out this time. So look, there isn't that many places that have it. Obviously there's Book Depository and Amazon's got it in stock at pretty much cover price. But for me, why would DC have it that both the Absolute and the Omnibus are going to be in print at the same time? Because them two are going to be working against each other. So nobody's really going to buy both at the same time, are they? They just want a way of getting the complete Planetary. So if DC makes it that this is no longer in print, people are going to have to buy the Absolute. It just makes business sense. So if you were somebody that wanted the Planetary Omnibus, which, you know, there are quite a few, like, yeah, I know the John Cassidy art is beautiful, but some people don't want an Absolute edition. And as well, I've heard that this is thicker than the Absolute Fourth World. Some people don't want that. That doesn't sound very readable to me. So if you were somebody that comfortably wanted to read this book and you wanted that in the form of the Omnibus, I think now is the best time to maybe getting that. I'm not saying that it's going to be out of print forever, but I think at least whilst they're trying to get this Absolute Planetary out the door, it's going to be the case that you might not be able to get the Omnibus as easily. Okay, the next one that we're going to look at, I know is a bit of a sore subject for some of you, but you know, I have to tell you about it, and it's the Batman Nightfall Omnibus Volume 1. Now as well, whilst I'm here with you, if you wanted any of the Batman Nightfall omnibuses, make sure you are contacting your local comic book shops, because they ordered a lot of these books because Nightfall was a big event. A lot of them are still sitting on these books, so why not get in touch with them? Now yeah, looking at the sellers, it seems like Amazon and Speedy Hen are the only places that have got it in stock for pretty much cover price, and Speedy Hen normally have about 45% off, so you know it's desperate times if they are charging cover price. But again, like I said, you can still get the complete Batman Nightfall saga if you're savvy with the way that you contact your comic shops. I've seen quite a few. I think Forbidden Planet Glasgow had it last I checked, that they've got Volume 3, which I know is the one that a lot of people want. But Volume 1 looks like it's on its way out as well, and I think I mentioned this a few months back. You know, if this was a series that you wanted but you thought that it was going to be in print forever, this first volume's been running since 2017, and let's be honest, how many people do you hear say, oh, Batman Nightfall, that is a must-buy omnibus? Now, don't get me wrong, I like it, but if you told me what is the one Batman omnibus that you need, this one isn't even going to be in the top 5. Now, the Promethea Deluxe editions, I know a lot of you wanted those absolutes, but it seems like Volume 1 is steadily going out of stock. Now, I know, yes, you've got your Speedy Hen, and it might even be cheaper on their eBay page, and you've got Book Depository, but for me, it seems like a lot of places are going out of stock where they all of a sudden, and I think it's the case that it's because that Volume 3 has finally come out. Like, the series is complete, and I don't know how committed they are to keeping this series in stock because of the case that they haven't done an omnibus with it, which would probably sell better than the 3 Deluxes if we're being honest. And the absolutes weren't around for that long as well, and they haven't seemed to have taken that proactive of a response to making sure that this stays in print. So if it was that you wanted Promethea, you know, it's a beautiful series, why wouldn't you want it? You know, it might be the case that you're best jumping on this now. Another oversized hardcover that I saw for you guys, I don't need this one because I've got the absolute of it, and I'm not bragging there. Green Lantern Green Arrow Hard Traveling Heroes, that was written by Denny O'Neil and drawn by Neil Adams. Seems like this is going out of stock here and there, so if you look, there isn't really too many places that are selling it. It's Amazon that's the only reputable place that I can find. As great of a series as this is, the absolute had much more of a buzz than this hardcover. I feel like a lot of people didn't even realise that this was coming out, so it might be the case that DC feels like there isn't too much love lost if they don't keep this in stock. So let's have a see as well if the absolute's still available. I don't believe it. Well, that shut me up, didn't it? So yeah, you can get the absolute still as well. I think if it was that you wanted this one, you wanted the deluxe edition, maybe you're not an absolute person, which is something that I personally don't understand, but power to you. You might want to jump on that sooner rather than later because it doesn't seem like too many places are stocking it at the moment, and there isn't that much demand to keep it back in. Another one, and I know that this is one that a lot of people wanted, is the Animalman Deluxe Edition Volume 2. Now, as you can see here, it's already at cover price, and Amazon is the last place that's got it in stock. Now, I haven't really been following this too much before now, but it doesn't look like somebody's had it available besides Amazon since the 24th of November, which is quite a significant amount of time. Now as well, DC seemed quite reluctant to print this in the first place. You could tell that they weren't too speedy at getting it out, were they? For me, I do think that is quite a worrying sign, and I think that the print run for that one might have been quite slim. Maybe you missed out on the Animalman by Grant Morrison omnibus, which, you know, is unfortunate, and for some reason that's the one Grant Morrison omnibus they haven't seemed to want to keep in print. But for me, if you want these, you can get both of them, and that's the complete series, done and dusted. Yeah, you can get it a little bit cheaper at Reed Comics there for $26.99. Can't find it at all on Forbidden Planet, which is a bit weird. But for me, if this was something that you wanted, knowing how out of print the omnibus went, don't sit around, don't wait. If you can get it for undercover, at this point, that is a deal. The next one is something that I think should be on your radar, but maybe you've got a bit of time, and also there might be a restock that comes out in a few months, which I'm going to explain. But it's the Batman and Robin by Peter J. Tomasi Omnibus. Such a fun book. I love this one. I think that everybody should at least give this a try. But if you look here, there isn't too many places that have actually got it. Yeah, you've got Blackwell's. Yeah, you've got Book Depository. But where's your Speedy Hens, your Books, etc., Worderies, stuff like that. So as well, the price has been creeping up. It's been in print for about a year. DC's made stuff that had been out for less than that, you know, out of print before. So I think this is a great book that you should try and get just for whatever price that you can get it. Like 30% off, as much as we complain, is still quite good. But for me, I think that there's a slim chance that when the Superman by Peter J. Tomasi Omnibus gets printed in May or March or April, whichever month it is, you might see a stealth restock of this because of the fact that it's the same creative team. That is a good price though. I don't really know too much about them, so, you know, proceed at your own caution, check the feedback, stuff like that. But for me, it does seem like it's steadily phasing out, and I think there are Batman omnibuses that have taken like a bigger priority, especially that James Tynion the 4th omnibus and the Scott Snyder omnibus, even though we're still waiting on that second volume. Like, I'm not even dropping on the Volume 1 until I see a Volume 2. I just don't trust them at the minute. But for me, I think that this is sort of a 50-50 book on if it's going to go out of print or not, because like I said, you've got the fact that they're doing another big DC character. You know, Superman's the second biggest character in DC after Batman. It's the same creative team, and it's got a similar look to it, so they could be like brother and sister omnibuses, or at the same time they could just go, let's get it out of print, it's been in print quite a while. Like, I think the Batman Eternal omnibus came out before or just around the time of this one. That's already gone out of print. Here's another one that I've been asked about. I believe that when we looked at this last month, it was completely out of stock and it was about 200 quid, and that is the new Teen Titans Omnibus Volume 1. Now, yeah, look, last week somebody was selling it for 178 quid. It is currently back in stock with Amazon. Admittedly, it is at cover price, but it just proves what I'm saying, that I do believe that whilst they're bringing out new volumes of the new Teen Titans, like Volume 5's due out, yeah, next week it says on here, and then also you've got Volume 6 in July. I think whilst that is the case, they're gonna keep these in print. I've seen that Volume 3 as well. Whilst that's loading, I'll just get it up and show you. Amazon is pretty much the cheapest place that's selling it, and I don't know too much about these other places, so that looks like it's got those telltale signs, but I think it will only be temporary if it is the case that these are out of stock, because of the fact that it's a new Teen Titans. They've got the purple button of doom, so you can put your email address in and they will tell you when it's back in stock. I would recommend doing that if it is that you really want this book, because I think it's inevitable. I think it's so dumb of DC to put Volume 1 out of stock but keep Volumes 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 in print, so don't spend over cover price for that or Volume 3. Admittedly, I think the price at Volume 3 is at the moment, it's about the same price that I paid anyway, about £52. That is quite a good deal anyway, so I'd recommend getting it at that price, but I wouldn't be willing to pay cover or anything else like that. And just have a look around, because this is a big title, this is a big name. Get this one is the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Now, this has cropped up throughout the months. The only place that's got it in stock at the minute is Amazon directly, and it's been in print for 2 years, and you don't hear too much buzz about this one, unfortunately. Like, when you compare it to something like Injustice, it's always got that buzz about it. If you're DC, which one are you going to keep in print? Like, let's be realistic here. Now, there have been occasions where it looks like it's gone out of stock before and then it's appeared again, but for me, I don't know if this is going to stay in stock too much longer. It's such an obscure thing for DC. Like yeah, I know that He-Man is a recognizable name, probably more so than some of the DC omnibuses that have stayed in stock longer, but for me, you don't really see a lot of people putting He-Man and DC together or looking at the comics for it. It's not in the same league of desirability as stuff like Transformers and TMNT. I don't get me wrong, it's still enjoyable. I don't think I've had a bad experience with any of these like kids TV shows getting adapted into a comic like that. Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, Transformers are all good. I wish they would let me take on VR Troopers or Beetlebugs. I would write a great comic for either of those properties, so if anybody's watching, whoever's got the rights, I'm available. But yeah, this is definitely one that I'd keep in mind if it is that you wanted it, and maybe buy it at that price if it is a book that you really wanted. Like, you have to ask yourself, would you be disappointed if this went out of print? And then you have to weigh up, would you rather pay maybe, you know, 10 quid more than what you were hoping for, or never be able to get it? Like, for me, I think that's at a steady price for just how much of an omnibus you get with this. It's such a whammy boy. Now, the last DC book that we're going to look at, like I said, if you're wondering if there's a certain book that hasn't appeared, maybe watch some of the previous episodes. It's a playlist so that it's very easy for you. But Superman Batman has had a weird journey. It's been similar. It came out at a similar time as the Infinite Crisis omnibus. But yeah, look, Book Depository is the only sort of other place besides Amazon that's actually got it. It's always been about 30% off. It's never really dropped beneath that. What's the lowest that they ever put you? The lowest was £65, and that was in 2019. The average for the last 90 days is £73, so it hasn't really wiggled too much, so I can't really judge too much if the price is creeping up and stuff like that. So it might be the case this could be the best deal that you can get for it. Our Amazon's one of the cheaper ones. They've only got 7 left in stock. These have only got 7 left in stock. And sometimes that is the same 7. That's not Amazon UK's got 7 and Amazon Germany's got 7. That's they've got 7. And it's been the case. I can't remember what it was that I ordered, but I ordered a book from Amazon and it got sent from Amazon Germany and took it from their numbers. So that could be the same 7 for all of the EU Amazons. So don't be deceived. Yeah, Read Comics has still got it in stock. Let's have a look at if In Stock Trades has got it as well. Yeah, they've got it in stock as well for the 42% off. So it seems like it hasn't really gone out of print just yet, but something about it, every time I look at it and I look at the numbers, it just doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't look like it's healthily in stock. Whilst I mentioned it, I know that I said that that was the last book that we were going to look at, but I do get people asking me about the Infinite Crisis omnibus. I can't spell it all, can I, today? Yeah, look, this is already out of print. Now, I remember saying this a few months back, oh, Gate, whilst you still can. It was only last week that it still looks like it was in print. Somebody sold it for £67. Damn, that was a good price. So yeah, that's another one. I don't think anybody really had a chance to get this one. I managed to buy it on the day when it came out and then just didn't see it after that. So, you know, some of these books, like the Superman Batman, you think you've got time with them and you really don't. So if you want them and it's at a price that you are happy to pay for, there's no point waiting to hope that it gets a cheaper price. Like, yeah, it might, and you might kick yourself and go, wish I would have waited. But at the same time, it could go to cover price and you could go, damn, why did I wait? You have to weigh up which one means more to you and if you've got the money to buy it. So those are all the DC books that we're going to talk about, and we're going to move on to Marvel now. And you know that if you've watched any episode of Whale Watch, that we always start our Marvel talk by doing our Chi Check, which is a section of the video where we check on a boy Shang-Chi. And if you're wondering, that only took me 3 attempts to say this month, so we're getting better. But as you all know, as you've probably heard me say countless times, as you've heard the Uncanny Omar say countless times, the Shang-Chi and the Masters of the Kung Fu Omnibus only got 1 printing because of the fact that Fu Manchu was an intellectual property that they had to get the rights for to print these volumes. Yeah, it's not for cover price anymore, unfortunately. You can still get volumes 3, 2 and 4. I think it was here though that I had Shang-Chi on sale. So this is Cheap Comics. They are based in the Netherlands, I believe it is. Yeah, they've got volume 1 still at half price. So if you want these Shang-Chi volumes, I'm just going to be blunt with you. What the fuck are you waiting for? It's been in print for 3 years and we've been told countless times that it's very likely that they may not make another print of this. Even regardless, if there was going to be another print of this and I desperately wanted this book, that's a great price. The other book that you need to worry about though is the Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, because it is in the same boat. These don't have volume 1 in stock anymore, unfortunately, and I believe that Amazon ran out of stock of it as well. Yeah, currently unavailable. They don't even have any third-party sellers as well. So you might be able to get lucky. I know that some people buy this, realize it isn't for them, and eventually sell it, so you might want to keep looking out for some of them. But for me, like I said, with Shang-Chi, this is your opportunity. If you're in the EU, buy it from Cheap Comics, get the other 3 volumes. Don't let it be the case that you wait on it. Maybe you've already got a volume 2, a volume 3, or a volume 4, and you're waiting for volume 1 for some reason. Don't let that be the case. I'm being honest with you. I believe that if you don't get volume 1 this month, you might miss out on it completely. But yeah, that's a Chi Check, and normally don't end up getting that stern with you, but we're going to get into some of the other books now. Some people think that omnibuses go really out of print. Honestly, oversized hardcovers, when they go out of print, they go really out of print, and it's very unlikely that they will get a reprint, if at all. So the first one that we're going to talk about is the Immortal Hulk Volume 1. This is Al Ewing's series, very highly acclaimed. Yeah, it is likely to get an omnibus at some point further down the line, but honestly for me, sometimes you like a deluxe hardcover, so for me, I think this is going steadily out of print. So you can see here there's not too many places that have got it, but you can get it for a comfortable price from Amazon. Ah, okay, that's being dispatched by someone else. So does Amazon actually have it? No, our Amazon doesn't actually have this book ready to ship to you. Sneaky, didn't know that one, did I? And as you can see here, look, Amazon hasn't been properly selling it since December, so maybe you were waiting to pick all of these up. Like, I know volume 2's coming out, I think volume 3's been solicited. I'd be picking up volume 1 now because you might be left disappointed. Honestly, if you ask me what's bigger, Thor by Jason Aaron or Immortal Hulk by Al Ewing, I'm going to say Thor by Jason Aaron. I think there's a much bigger fan base for that than there is this book. I know that this is more critically acclaimed, but if you're talking to me about what sells, I'm going to go with Thor. And those Thor by Jason Aaron hardcovers, once they went out of print, they went out of print. And at the minute, we are waiting for an omnibus. It's been about 4 years. We got War of the Kings before we got Thor. Like, it makes no sense to me. But the point that I'm trying to make is that sometimes you can wait for an omnibus and just continually be waiting. Like, I am still waiting for Thor by Jason Aaron. I don't know when it's going to come. I know that it is a when rather than an if, but if you want to read this series, why not just pick them up whilst you can? Save yourself the hassle. They're the same trim size as an omnibus, so sometimes you pick these up and you go, actually I'm okay with these even when an omnibus comes out, and sometimes they can even end up cheaper than an omnibus. So for me, it seems like if you're waiting for the Immortal Hulk omnibus, why not just pick up these hardcovers whilst you can still comfortably buy them? The next one that we're going to look at is Venom by Donnie Cates Volume 1. This was one of my favourite books of last year that I've read. But Volume 1, if we look, yeah, you've got Wordery, yeah, you've got Book Depository, but it pretty much came out the exact same time as that Immortal Hulk Volume 1. This series has been big as well. And the reason why I'm going to flag this up, even though, again, it feels like it's guaranteed to get an omnibus, is because I don't have a fucking clue what Marvel are doing when it comes to Donnie Cates. Like, is Venom going to get an omnibus, or is it going to be part of Cosmic Universe by Donnie Cates Volume 3, and it's going to be about less pages than this? Who knows? Because it could be the case that that happens, and obviously we've got the Absolute Carnage omnibus. I think it's pretty much guaranteed that we're going to get a King in Black omnibus either this year or early on next year. So this is such a great series, and Volume 2 is coming out this week, I believe, that if you want these volumes and you don't want to have to wait around for an omnibus, why not pick Volume 1 up now whilst you can still get it comfortably, rather than worrying if you're ever going to get that omnibus and having absolute carnage sitting on your shelf for years because of the fact that you wanted to read it all in one go. You can do what you want at the end of the day. I'm not spending your money, so if you wanted to wait around, like, fair enough. But for me, I'd rather get these hardcovers because of the fact that there's so many events that are tied into the middle of it. I find the next one is quite ironic that I'm mentioning it because of the fact that I said, oh, look how healthily in print the Daredevil by Brian Michael Bendis Omnibus Volume 1 is. But all of a sudden, it seems like things have changed now. It's been in print for about a year. Obviously, does anybody remember how much of a nightmare it was getting one of these across here in the first place? Again, look, it's not Amazon directly that's even selling it, so it doesn't look like it's been in stock for about a couple of days, but there's been issues with it before then as well. But for me, there's been books that have been part of these reprints that had a lot more buzz about them. We're talking stuff like the Uncanny X-Force had a lot more buzz about it than the Daredevil by Brian Michael Bendis, even though admittedly I'm more of a Daredevil guy, so that's the one that I'm going to shout from the rooftops about. But again, I think there wasn't that demand that they really thought that there was going to be. I'm not sure why that is the case, because it's not easy to get this in just the oversized hardcovers. So for me, now might be your last time to get it, and I haven't really heard rumours that they're going to be doing another restock. Marvel seems quite good at communicating those restocks to us, so I haven't heard anything about this. I try and watch as many as Mr. Omar streams as I can. I always recommend watching his streams. I love Mr. Omar, he's pretty much the reason my channel exists in the first place. Now let's have a look at some of these. So the Wolverine Volume 1, which was by Frank Miller, the original stuff, is going to get a restock later this month. X-Men Grand Designs is coming out on the same day. You've got Conan, the original Marvel Years Volume 4 coming out on the 3rd of March. And you've also got Spider-Man Ben Reilly Volume 2 coming out on the same day. So those are the dates that you need to be aware of for that. But the point that I'm trying to make, to tie it back into the book that we're talking about, there's no mention of Daredevil there. I don't get why. I fucking love my Daredevil. But why is it the case that nobody's talking about this book? It's one of my favourite books of all time. So for me, if you want this book, now is the best time to get it. I'd rather get it for that £57. Trust me, you're getting your money's worth for it. It's such a great book. I'd rather have it than risk those prices that it was when it was out of print for about 13 years. I don't know if people remember that. If they did, they'd be buying this in droves. Just in case one of yours goes wrong, you want to make sure you've got a backup of this book. It's that good. The next one is part of a series. It's technically a volume 3, but they just labelled these omnibuses really stupid. But it's Cable and X-Force Omnibus, kind of similar to Avengers by John Byrne, pretty much being West Coast Avengers Volume 3. If you look, Amazon's the only place that's got it in stock, and you can see that there's only 2 left in stock. I never trust this more on the way. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it isn't. I'd rather trust it is in stock, so I should get it. Yeah, Reed Comics has got it. It's the only one that they've got as well, so that's kind of worrying. So if that was a book that you were looking for, I think that should be on your to-buy list pretty quickly, especially because of the fact that Amazon isn't charging cover price for it, which I think is going to be the next move. I think that's going to go up to about £83, especially if there only becomes 1 left. And then all of a sudden you just aren't going to be able to find this, unfortunately. The next one that we're going to talk about is one that I did bring up a few months ago. I brought these all up in varying quantities, and the only one that it seems like I was right about was Punisher by Garth Ennis, because as you can see here, there is only one place that is selling it, and it's Amazon US directly. Amazon UK isn't even offering it, which probably means that a lot of the EU Amazons doesn't have it either. Now I do remember saying last month that Cheap Comics had this on sale. Let's see if it's still in sale. Yeah, they are listing it as out of print. Again, sometimes you can take that with a pinch of salt. You can say out of print, but for me, it looks like it is actually out of print now. And Punisher's a great character. I love him. Maybe it's the fact that Marvel is deciding to cancel him like everyone on Twitter wanted to for, you know, a couple of days. But as well, the other one that I wanted to talk about is this one right here, Punisher by Garth Ennis Volume 2. And obviously, if you don't have Volume 1, why are you going to want Volume 2? You can get both of them on sale. Easy days. Why would it be the case that Volume 1 goes out of print and Volume 2 isn't on its same way? So as we can see here, a lot of those telltale signs. Amazon's one of the cheaper places, and besides Blackwell's, there isn't too many places that we actually know of selling this book for a really good price. So I think this is next on its way out. Now I know that some people buy Volume 1 and they think that they've got that sitting time with Volume 2. This has been out since 2018. Your sitting time's kind of up. They need the chair again, if you get what I'm saying. But the next Punisher Omnibus I think you need to worry about, because we're just going to go on a Punisher spree. Obviously I'm doing a review of this soon, so I'd just recommend it anyway. It's got 2 left in stock. Amazon's the only reputable place that's selling it. Now, Cheap Comics didn't even have it. This was the whalest whale for the longest amount of time. So it's been in print again since 2017. That's nearly 4 years now. If the other Punisher omnibuses are going out of print, especially Punisher Max, which there's this eternal debate of which is better, Punisher Marvel Knights by Garth Ennis or Punisher Max by Garth Ennis. Either way, it looks like both of them are going out of print, so that debate might become a bit moot in a few months. The only other one that I wanted to talk about, weirdly, it looks like all the Punisher omnibuses are steadily creeping out here and there. It's the Back to the Wall. Blackwell's got it, but that's pretty much about it. Amazon's got it for 30% off, and as well, it looks like it's full price on Cheap Comics. Your goal for this month, if you're a Punisher fan, near enough try and get every Punisher omnibus that you can. Utilise Cheap Comics to your advantage, have a see what's in stock where, but near enough every Punisher omnibus that was in print, this seems to be the month where you should be buying it. Ironically, I'm pointing towards the book that is next on the list because it's the Cloak and Dagger Omnibus Volume 1. I don't really know anything about these characters. I'm sorry, I can't really inform you too well on it, but it came out September last year and I've heard near enough nobody talk about it. Like, I know this is going to be someone's favourite title. If I say I haven't heard anybody talking about it and it's your favourite book ever, great, power to you. I'm just saying, in general, more than just you haven't talked about this book. So if we look here, Book Depository's got it, Blackwell's got it, where are your Speedy Hens, where are your books, etc. Where are the other companies that we rely on? I don't know if when Volume 2 comes out that they're going to do like a stealth restock of this, but if you were waiting for Volume 2, why not save yourself the hassle and just get it now? Doesn't look like Forbidden Planet's got it either. Let's have a look at Read Comics for you guys. I'm so surprised that this is getting a Volume 2 as quickly as it is. Yeah, they've got Volume 1 quite a decent price, so I'd recommend picking that up if it is something that you were waiting for both volumes to come out. By the time this second volume comes out, I don't really think there's going to be too many of these in print unless there is a stealth reprint, which I've got no knowledge of at the moment. So Cloak and Dagger, if that's what you want, put it on your radar now. One that I really think should be on your radar if it isn't already, which I did a review of earlier in the year, so check it out if you haven't done so already. Please turn off your ad blocker so that you can help your boy out so that you don't have to listen to this terrible quality audio for much longer. Hulk by Jeff Loeb and Ed Mcginnis. Now this has been in print since June 2019, and we've seen stuff like the Peter David volumes go out of print really quickly, so it's going to be the case that, you know, if they're not afraid to let them go out of print, even though we've heard the case that there might be a stealth reprint later on down the line, why would they keep this one that hasn't got as much of a buzz about it? Unless it's going to be the case that Red Hulk shows up in a future Avengers movie or MCU property, I think it's going to be the case that this might disappear because, unfortunately, even though it's really fun and enjoyable, again, it's not a book that has too much buzz about it, weirdly. Now, yeah, I have pre-ordered that cover because look how great it is compared to the other one. They've still got Fantastic Four by Matt Fraction in stock, which is actually a bit of a whale, but they've got it there anyway. No, they don't have either of the Hulk books in stock, unfortunately. You can still get Planet Hulk on sale for cover price, which is a great deal at this point, but yeah, doesn't look like they've got the Jeff Loeb Hulk Omnibus on sale, unfortunately. Next one, just going to fly by this one because I've mentioned it countless times already, and it also looks like the battery on my camera is going. It's the Annihilation Omnibus. We got that stealth reprint. It is 80 quid, which, yeah, is a little bit steep, but there's 7 left in stock and it is available at Amazon. I don't know if they're going to do another stocking by the time the Conquest comes out. I don't know when that's coming out, but for me, look, it's been going in and out of stock all the time. Just get it. I remember how bad of a whale this was when it originally went out of print, so if you want this, just get it. Check out my review once you've read it, but that's another one that should be on your radar. Maybe you weren't even aware that it came back in print. The next one, because like I said, I am very worried about my camera at this point. Conan, the Original Marvel Years Volume 1. It had that stealth restock. It seems like we temporarily got it, but of course, it's already gone back up to cover price. If you want this, it's there. Buy if you want it. One book, and I'm not really sure who this is for, but it's the Marvel Universe by John Byrne, Volume 1. As you can see, there's only 3 places that are stocking it new, but the reason why I'm bringing this up, if you're one of the few people that wanted this book, it is available. Both volumes are available on sale from Cheap Comics. This is near enough about 60, maybe even 65% off. So you were the one person who wanted that book. Why not just jump on it now whilst you still can? Get both of the volumes in sale, then you never have to worry about them going into whale status. So if you wanted it, now's your time, baby girl. I don't know why I just called you baby girl. I am really tired. One that I keep getting asked about that we're just going to quickly touch on here is the Excalibur Omnibus. Now, I was fortunate enough to get it from Book Depository. As you can see here, Amazon's the only place that's stocking it. Yeah, In Stock Trades doesn't have it, which suggests that it has unfortunately sold out over there. I've seen these X-Men omnibuses do madness lately, like Uncanny X-Men Volume 1 got a restock. I've heard that Uncanny X-Men Volume 2 is getting a restock. I think Excalibur and the next one that we're going to talk about, which is New Mutants, are going to get those restocks. Like, I wouldn't worry. With X-Men books, they know that they can sell, and Marvel seems to be more on the ball now, that they know these books that are going out of print really quickly are worth bringing back into print quickly as well. So I wouldn't worry too much about either Excalibur or the New Mutants, which again, it looks like that isn't available either. So there's not that many places that are stocking these at the moment, but this came out pretty much just before Christmas. So I think maybe a month or so down the line, we're going to get some kind of confirmation that there might be a restock of these. So if you can get it for, you know, steadily under cover price, yeah, go for it. Like, why wouldn't you? But I wouldn't panic buy and pay over cover price if you really wanted them, because these are new releases. And with them saying Volume 1, and with the fact that stuff like Cloak and Dagger and Power Pack got Volume 2s, I think that both Excalibur and New Mutants are also going to get Volume 2s. So they're going to make sure that you can buy Volume 1. So I wouldn't worry too much about them. Now, the Uncanny X-Men, like I said, we had that confirmation, I can't remember when exactly it was, that Volume 2 is going to get a restock. It seems like Amazon got it, but when you look at it, actually, it's just being sent from Amazon US. So with any of these X-Men books, because I've had people asking me about Uncanny X-Men Volume 3 as well, it's X-Men, it's going to sell. If they've got that Volume 4 that's coming out as well, and they know that they want people to be buying these, they're gonna make sure that people can get them. Don't panic buy. That's exactly what I did with Uncanny X-Men Volume 1, and I don't want you guys to make the same mistake as me, because I paid cover price for it, and it's pretty much double what I could have got, because I paid cover price and had it shipped in from America. So they know now, these X-Men omnibuses are like gold. They print them, they sell, so don't panic buy. I would just wait on some of them. Spider-Man by JMS. I remember that everybody wanted this, especially when it went out of print. Everybody wanted it, and now it's in stock, and it looks like it's on its way out again, and you don't hear people talking about it. Blackwell's has got it. You know, it's about 33% off. I think it was a little bit lower on average. Actually, it's about the average that it's always been, so sorry about that one. But obviously, I know that a lot of people couldn't get their hands on Volume 1. That's why they haven't brought Volume 2. Now, I mentioned a few months ago that in one of Omar's streams, he did say that they are planning on doing a reprint of Volume 1. I'd recommend checking out the video that I talked about that in, and looking in the comments where I link to the video directly and give you the times. If you ask me in this video, I'm not really going to know, like, you know, do your boy a favour, just click on the video, turn off your ad blocker, you know, just find out the details there. But it might be the case that, you know, they talk about bringing back Volume 1 back in print. We haven't heard anything on Volume 2. We don't know how big this print one was. We don't know how long Marvel's been sitting on them. So yeah, there's every chance that they could bring both Volume 1 and 2 back in print, and Marvel seems to be doing that at the minute. But if you can get this for a decent price now, why risk that? We haven't heard officially that Volume 2 is going to get a reprint, so I'd rather just get it and then wait for that Volume 1 reprint, and then if they don't do Volume 2, you still got both. You'll sit in cushy. Like, that's what I'd personally do for me, but I know some people want that security of getting Volume 1 and Volume 2. The next book that we're going to talk about, again, was a really demanded reprint that nobody seems to care about now, the Infinity Gauntlet Omnibus. Now, I said this last month, and I'm just going to reiterate it again here. These reprints should be your priorities. Marvel, we don't really know what they're doing with these reprints. We don't know if it's like a last-ditch effort, like, you can get it here if you're in the know, or we don't know if it's the case that they want to keep them in print for a while. I think they only really do it when they're promoting some kind of other omnibus. So they brought the Infinity Gauntlet Omnibus out so that more people would probably buy Infinity Crusade. You know, not a lot of people are going to buy just Infinity Crusade if they haven't got Infinity Gauntlet. And looking at it now, it's already cover price at Amazon, but I know that some people manage to get really good deals from their comic shops for this one. Yeah, look, so it's not in stock at Reed, Purple Button and Doom, but you can get the new printing with the direct market cover Infinity Omnibus, which just the worst value for money. Not statistically, I just mean because of the fact that it just mashes materials from two other omnibuses together. The Infinity Gauntlet Omnibus, if you want this, now is your time, man. It could be the case. It could be the case that they go, oh, that pretty much sold out within 2 months, let's get more across. Like, that would make sense to me, but that's a risk that you have to weigh up if it's willing to take. Is it worth waiting for that potential restock that we haven't had confirmed yet, but could in all likelihood happen? Or is it worth just getting it, having that peace of mind? That's a decision for you to make. I can't make that decision for you. Now, the last Marvel book that we are going to talk about, again, is a X-Men omnibus, and it's one that I know a lot of people wanted. It is the X-Men by Chris Claremont and Jim Lee Volume 1. Amazon really doesn't want me to show you this book, does it? That's the original printing for anybody wondering. That's the original printing. Where are these new printings? Just bear with me a sec. I'll find this book. I'm going to find this book.
2 seconds later.
Amazon can suck a dick. This is the book that I'm talking about. It's the X-Men by Chris Claremont and Jim Lee Omnibus Volume 1. Now, it's already unavailable at Forbidden Planet. Amazon apparently doesn't seem to know that the book exists, which is kind of weird. I believe Read Comics was the same as well. I had an alert for when this came back in, and I believe I checked, and it was still showing as out of stock. So Volume 1 is completely out of stock. It doesn't even have Purple Button of Doom, but you can get the direct market variant here, so you've still got that option to buy it. But again, if you ask me, I genuinely think more people wanted the X-Men by Jim Lee and Chris Claremont Volume 1 reprinted over the Uncanny X-Men's and stuff like that. Now obviously they both had quite a high level of demand, so you might be somebody who just wanted Uncanny reprinted and not Jim Lee. That last comment doesn't apply to you. Not everything I say applies to everybody. Because of the fact that Marvel has made an effort to restock both Volume 1 and they're due to do it for Volume 2, and I'm always going to guarantee that it's going to happen for Volume 3 as well, with how quickly that sold out at Diamond level. I think that X-Men by Jim Lee and Chris Claremont will go the same way, especially if there's a bigger printing of Volume 2 that's due out. Maybe the orders were a little bit different and stuff like that. So I think that it's not worth paying overcover price. I've already seen people scalping X-Men by Jim Lee Volume 1. I don't think it's really worth risking it because of the fact that I think at some point they're going to restock that. Just be rational about it. Which one do people probably want more? It's probably going to be X-Men by Jim Lee and Chris Claremont than it is Wolverine by Frank Miller and the other like assorted titles that it had in it. Both great omnibuses, I'm not going to lie, but my point remains, I think it's going to be the case that a few months down the line, these X-Men omnibuses that went out of print, out of stock, within a couple of weeks, they're going to come back in. Like, we're not in that uncertain territory anymore. We know that Marvel are willing to do that, and they will make sure that these books can get restocks pretty quickly. And I think X-Men by Jim Lee and Chris Claremont is going to be no different. So with that one, hang tight. Let's just see for the next few weeks. Let's see what happens. Maybe even more are on the way across here. So let's hang fire with that one. But I'm going to have to wrap this video up there. I've spent so long filming that my camera's running out of battery, so I'm sorry if it seemed even more frantic than it usually is. I just wanted to make sure that I could get this video out for you guys. I love the support that I've been seeing on this series month on month. Like I said, I'm trying to develop this a little bit more so that the pace is a little bit different and it's hopefully a little bit more enjoyable for you, but I'm going to try my best to refine this series. I want to make sure that every video that I put on this channel is the best that it can be, and I'm going to keep trying to find different ways that I can improve it for you. I know obviously I look like I'm Dracula at the minute because I've just got the softbox on me. The light that's in the comic room unfortunately broke, and I haven't been able to get an electrician out to it just yet because of the pandemic that's still ongoing in the UK and stuff like that. So just bear with me on that one. I'm trying my best to not let it derail this channel. I'm going to use every resource that I've got, and like I said, I'm going to try and invest in a better microphone so that the quality is a little bit better for you guys and that we can just improve and improve and improve on this. I want this channel to really have its own identity and be a place that you guys can come to and enjoy. I've got the news, I've got my hauls, I've got me where to start, me who is, and I've got Whale Watch. This is my baby. When I did the first video with this, it was pretty soon into this channel starting, and I remember thinking to myself, is this video series too big for my channel? And at that point I realised that's exactly the video that I should be doing. I should be doing the videos that I don't think belong on my channel because I don't have that status. I still think that Whale Watch is a much bigger project than my channel deserves. You won't really see too many channels in their infancies that are trying to push the boat out as much as I believe that I do, and I'm hoping that that reflects in these videos, and I'm just hoping that you enjoy it, guys. And that's not me disrespecting anybody else. Like, every channel does their own thing. I'm always going to try and do the biggest videos that I can, and Whale Watch is something that is still a video idea that is too big for my channel, and I'm just thinking of ways that I can improve it. How can I make it better for you guys? Because that's all that really matters to me at the end of the day. Like I said, I make barely anything off this video, considering it takes new enough about 3 days to do one of these. Yeah, I'm pretty much getting about 3p an hour from what I get from the videos, so I'm just hoping at the end of the day it's helpful to you guys. I always say this, I know some people hate it, you can't win everybody over, but I'm always going to try my best to make this video the best series that it can. I'm going to leave this one there, guys. Like I said, the battery is currently running out. It's flashing like mad, so could cut off at any moment. Thank you for watching. If you got this far, let me know in the comment section below what are some of the books that are on your radar. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, why did you get this far? Subscribe if you're new here, and make sure that you get your paws all over that bell notification so that you never miss out on a video. Share this video wherever you can. It does really help the channel. Like I said, 2021, I'm trying to make the year of the Mad Dog. I'm trying to make this series as big as it can be, so that hopefully, you know, I've got maybe some websites that hit me up and say, hey, do you want to promote our website first, you know, so that I can get some kind of insider information, maybe some information from Diamond directly to make this video even more accurate for you guys. So yeah, make sure that you're sharing it wherever you can. Check out my social media links, and like I said, if you're planning on buying anything, I've got Amazon affiliate links down below, which means that I can't see any of your details. It doesn't increase the price, just means that there will be some money coming into this channel, hopefully. But yeah, I've got pull lists coming out on Friday, and I hope that I see you all there. But until then, just make sure that you stay safe, stay reading the best books that you can find, and stay mad, all you dogs. Woof woof! See you at the next video.